hedge fund billionaire Dan Loeb of Third Point. He wants to break up Sony. Third Point has asked Sony to sell as much as 20% of its entertainment business in an IPO so the company can focus on electronics. Sony's response: the businesses are not for sale. Loeb and Third Point have had a number of successes recently. Now, Erik, I know that you've been speaking with sources close to Dan Loeb. Fill us in on some more color with this.
In fact,
can he really persuade them to do this?
The conversation ended about 10 minutes ago. It is a tough job that they have ahead of them because Sony is a Japanese company. Japanese companies have a reputation for being somewhat intransigent, slow-moving. We all know what's happened to Sony. The company once had a market value of $120 billion. It's down to 20 now, although the stock on the back of this move by Dan Loeb is moving up nicely today.
So the idea here is if you take the entertainment division, you spin that off, you force the electronics business to focus on electronics, you reap the rewards of the entertainment business being profitable.
In theory, right? Dan Loeb would have you believe that this is a classic Third Point value play, just like Alibaba inside Yahoo. There is hidden value inside the company. There's a business that doesn't really fit with the rest of Sony. Think about it this way. Sony Entertainment and Music are effectively an American company. They're run from the West Coast and New York City. They're not really run out of Japan. They're completely different, and there's a precedent for this. Sony Financial, effectively a life insurance business, also did a partial spin-off, helping Sony to, in theory, realize some unlocked value. And, you know, that's what Third Point is all about. So they
see this unlocked value. The problem is, how do you convince the Japanese to see the unlocked value?
That is the key. They believe that the leadership is coming from above, which is to say from Prime Minister Abe driving effectively the Japan trade right now, reflating equities, depreciating the yen. That's going to, believe it or not, I mean, and I think this is a bit of a stretch, right, provide some leadership to the corporate sector to take some similar risks. In other words, if Japan is to cease being a sclerotic economy, stuck in a deflationary, no-growth cycle, people have to take some risks.
Right.
So they're urging Sony to take a leadership position in corporate Japan and say, you know what, it's not just the country that's a bit of a mess. Our corporate structures are a bit of a mess. And so
someone like
and he's a big fan of Kazuo Hirai, the CEO of Sony, who's quite a bit different, you know, who exudes a bit more of a Western attitude than your typical Japanese CEO. They believe that he's up to the challenge. So even though Sony has said no for now, they're urging them, you know, to convene a special committee of the board, hire some advisors, and figure out what to do.
Yeah, it would be pretty tremendous if he can pull this off, and he's certainly pulled off a lot of other things that have been quite remarkable. Yahoo, obviously, you mentioned that comes to mind.
Greek bonds, the Delphi restructuring, this company that none of us have ever heard of called Dade Bearing, on which they made a 700% return. So who knows if they're going to do quite so well with Sony, but Dan Loeb has had some big hits in the past.
He sure has.
This could be another one.
We'll see.